Hey guys, Zach here from MATBOCK. Right now we're going to go over a little bit of hoist operations with the new Cobra sled. First things first, before we start any hoist operations, you need to have all 3 retention straps done for the patient. Most notably, your chest strap is going to want to go directly underneath the armpits of the patient. And then your Velcro retention strap here, the big wide green one, goes over top of the arms. So you're going to raise the patient's arms up, put on the chest strap, put the arms down, and then secure the arms down with the arm strap here. So we've got a lot of different options for a hoist. The first one is going to be your vertical hoist. We have 3 different configurations for vertical hoist, and these are all going to dictate just slightly the angle of attack. So for your first option, you're going to come up here and feed your vertical hoist lines through the friction adapters. And then once you have the height set correctly, you're going to go ahead and tie a knot in there, just to prevent that from slipping through any. Same thing with your back one. Feed it through the friction adapter. And then once you got your height set, you can go ahead and tie a knot in that as well. Now I can take my 2 lines and come to my rescue hook. Now what you're going to see in this configuration is that your patient is just slightly head forward. Obviously our dummy here is about 6'7", so the head retention piece is not pulling them in with the helmet on as well. But you can see the angle of the patient is just going to be slightly head forward. And that's going to happen when you just use those back 2 vertical straps. Now, if we just take the top 2 straps, we're going to get a slightly head back angle, and I'll show you what that looks like. So for that, we take our 2 top drag straps. And now these ones have Cobra buckles on them. So we're just going to take that and plug it in to the Cobra buckle directly behind it. Same thing on this side. Take this buckle, plug it directly in. Once I set my height on those 2, I can go ahead and take my rescue hook again, plug it in. Now you can see on this, with just those front 2 straps, we get a very slight head up angle. So my third option for vertical hoist is to use all 4 straps. This is obviously the safest way to do it. And if I set my heights correctly, then the patient will go straight up and down. So I'm just going to undo those knots that we made earlier. take these four and put them together, and then adjust the tension to the correct height. I'm going to re-put my knots onto those two lead lines in the back, just to prevent any slipping during hoist. And then I can take all four leads and hook into the rescue hook. Now you can see that the patient is going straight up and down for this vertical hoist. So our final option for hoist is going to be horizontal. Best thing about the Cobra sled is I don't have to re-rig it in any way. So for horizontal hoist, I'm going to take my front lead drag straps, the front top drag straps with the Cobra buckles, and I'm going to plug it in at the waist. Just like I did for the 4-man sling carry. And I'm going to grab my rear ones and do the same thing. I want to make sure that my lines are almost all the way let out at this point. So now I've got 4 leads to come to the rescue hook. Gather all 4 of those up. So what I'm going to do is, as I'm putting them into the rescue hook, I'm just going to do it one at a time. And I'm going to grab from the back and pull forward. And when that line is tight, I'm going to go ahead and do an extra wrap around it. And then I'm going to tighten to my patient. And I'm going to do the same thing from the front. I'm going to come up, do a wrap, and then tighten in the middle. Using this method, I can set the exact angle that I want my patient to hoist at. So if I want to make it a little bit tighter so he's a little bit more head up instead of flat, I can do that by moving that hook a little bit closer to the front. So ideally I would do this on a carabiner before the rescue hook came down from the helicopter for obvious reasons. But it's the same method. Doing that one extra wrap on the carabiner before you put it into the rescue hook allows the friction to prevent the middle from bowing at all. So once I have them hooked up, and we're hooked into the rescue hook, we can go ahead and go straight up. Thanks for watching, guys. Please let us know if you have any questions.